You buy the same coffee every morning, same place, same seat by the window. The girl behind the counter knows your order before you reach the register. Medium, oat milk, no sugar. She's already ringing it up. $4.75. You tap your card, the way you've done it 300 times. You're not even looking at the reader. You're looking at your phone. Then you notice the beep didn't come. The little screen isn't green. It's thinking. That half second where it hasn't decided yet. You've never watched this screen before. You never had to. Declined. You tap again. Same pause. Same word. And the girl sees it before you do. Her eyes flick to the screen, then to you, and something moves across her face. Not cruelty, just a small recalculation. A quiet downgrade happening in real time. Do you have another card? You do. You try it. You already know. The line behind you is 3 people deep now, and one of them sighs. You say never mind. You leave the coffee on the counter. You walk out into a morning that looks exactly like every other morning, except now you're carrying something you can't put down. Here's what nobody tells you about going broke. It isn't the big dramatic moment. It's not the phone call, the pink slip, the last number on the account. That part's over fast. What breaks you is what comes after. The slow part. The part where the world finds out. Because the world always finds out. And the world has a system for people like you now. It sorts fast, and it sorts quietly, and it will spend the next year showing you exactly where you rank. You just felt the first sort, in a coffee shop. Over $4.75, day 1. Your account still shows a number. Something small, a few hundred, maybe. Enough to lie to yourself with, because your brain hasn't caught up yet. You still move like the old you. You still assume the card will work. You still round up when you tip. The habits of money outlive the money by weeks, and that gap is where the humiliation lives. You go to fill the tank. You tell the pump $40. It gives you $11. It stops with a click, and the screen says, "See attendant," and now you have to walk inside, past the guy behind you at the next pump, and explain to a teenager why the machine cut you off. You don't explain. You just mumble and take the $11 of gas and leave. That's the first thing that changes, not your bank balance, your posture. You start rehearsing. You run the math before you order. You check the app before you tap. You develop a flinch, a little half-second of dread every time a card reader thinks, because now you know what that pause can turn into. The pause used to mean nothing. Now it means everything. You start choosing where to be broke. Self-checkout instead of the cashier, because a machine won't look at you. The gas station across town where nobody knows your face. You're not hiding the money problem. You're hiding the moment other people find out about it. Those are 2 different fears, and the second one is worse. And the strangest part? Nothing official has happened. No letter, no call, no one has told you you're broke. The world hasn't been notified yet, but it's coming. The systems are just running on a delay. Right now, in a database somewhere, the old version of you is still walking around, still trusted, still worth being nice to. That version has about 3 weeks left. You're not broke yet, as far as the world's concerned. You're pre-broke, and the grace period is already ticking. For a little while, the world is still kind to you. And it's the cruelest kindness there is, because none of it is meant for you. It's meant for who you used to be. The systems haven't updated, so they keep treating you like the last data they had. The pre-approved credit offer still lands in your mailbox. Congratulations, it says. You've been selected. A $12,000 limit, waiting for you, based on a version of your life that ended last month. You hold that envelope, and you feel something almost like hope, and that's the trap. The offer isn't looking at you. It's looking at a ghost. Your streaming still plays. Your subscriptions still renew. The gym still lets you in with a smile, because the annual membership cleared back when you had it to spare. Autopay keeps firing on accounts that are quietly draining, pulling $9.99 here, $49 there, each one a small hole in a boat that's already low in the water. Your phone still buzzes with the bank's little courtesies. Your statement is ready. Thanks for being a valued customer. Valued. They actually use that word. You were valued, present tense, for a few more days, because the machine that prints that word hasn't been told yet. You go out to dinner because a friend invited you, and you don't know how to say no without saying why. You order carefully. You get the pasta, not the steak, and you tell yourself it's because you're not that hungry. The card works this time. You exhale. Nobody at the table noticed the exhale. You've started having a whole second conversation that only you can hear. This is the phase where you could still fix it if you had somewhere to reach. Most people don't. So you ride the grace period like a man riding a car with the engine already off, coasting, watching the needle, pretending the quiet means everything's fine. It isn't fine. It's latency. And the systems are catching up. The grace period ends at a specific dollar amount. For you, it's around 600. Then it's less. Then one Tuesday, it's a negative number. And that's when the institution that used to smile at you shows you what it actually is. Because here's what the bank does the day you go negative. It doesn't stop the payments to protect you. It lets them through, all of them. And it charges you $35 for each one. You had 4 small charges hit the same morning. A subscription, a coffee, a gas fill, a parking app. Under $100 of actual spending, all told. The bank paid every one of them, then stacked 4 overdraft fees on top. $140 in penalties on a day you spent less than the penalty itself. And because the balance is now deeper in the hole, the next charge overdrafts too. And the next. The fee feeds the fee. You call. You sit in the hold music. You explain that you've been with them for years, that surely there's something they can do. And the voice on the phone is polite and completely immovable, and you realize the politeness is the wall, not the door. Here's the part that stays with you. This is the same bank that 2 years ago waived your fees without being asked. The same bank that gave you a name and a number for a relationship manager. The same bank that sent a card in the mail that said priority on it in silver letters. That bank. The relationship was real. It just wasn't with you. It was with your balance, and your balance moved out. They don't hate you. Hate would take energy, and you're not worth the energy. They've simply repriced you. You went from a customer they profit from by keeping happy to a customer they profit from by fining. Same building, same logo, different math. You were never the client. You were the yield. So you reach for the cards. Of course you do. Everyone does. When the water's rising, you grab the one thing still floating. For a few weeks, it works. The credit card is the last institution still saying yes. Groceries, gas, the electric bill. You're not buying things anymore. You're buying time at whatever the interest rate is. And you tell yourself you'll sort it out before it compounds. Then, the card notices what your bank already knows. You get an email. Calm, corporate, no apology. Due to a review of your account, your credit limit has been reduced from $12,000 to $2,000. They didn't ask. They didn't warn you. The raft you were standing on just got smaller while you were standing on it. And because your balance is now closer to that new lower limit, your credit utilization spikes overnight, which drops your score, which flags you to every other lender, all without you spending a single additional dollar. Then the rate moves. The introductory 16% quietly becomes 29%. On a balance you can't pay down. That's not a fee. That's a current, pulling in one direction, and the direction is under. This is the same card that used to raise your limit unasked. Remember that? Every year, like a gift. We've increased your available credit. You felt trusted. You felt like you were winning at something. That was never trust. That was a company extending more rope to a customer they'd modeled as reliable so they could earn more interest off you. The moment the model flipped, they reeled the same rope back in. The generosity and the punishment came from the exact same calculation. You only ever saw one side of it at a time. The card didn't turn on you. It was always doing this math. You were just, for a while, on the winning side of it. By now you've stopped being a person to most of these systems. You've become a number, and the number is falling. 690, then 620, then 540. 3 digits that a stranger's algorithm decided are the truest thing about you, and that number walks into every room before you do. Your car insurance renews, and the premium is higher. You didn't crash anything. You didn't get a ticket. In most places, they're allowed to price you by your credit, and the logic is brutal and simple. People who are struggling file more claims, so struggling people pay more for the same coverage. The moment you can least afford it is the exact moment it costs more. That's not a glitch. That's the design. You try to rent a smaller apartment because the plan is to shrink your way back to solid ground. The listing says the rent. The application tells you the truth. First month, last month, a security deposit, and because your score came back low, a cosigner or an extra deposit on top. To move somewhere cheaper, They want more cash up front than you've had in months. The cheaper you need it to be, the more they demand to let you in. This is the trick nobody warns you about. Everything costs more when you're broke. Poverty isn't the absence of money. It's a surcharge on everything, billed to the people with the least. The same score that once got you the good rate, the instant approval, the "you qualify for our best offer." That same score is now the reason every door has a toll booth in front of it. A credit score is just a stranger's guess about whether you'll survive, priced to 3 decimals. And the guess is contagious. Once one system decides you're a risk, they all agree, instantly, without ever meeting you. You're not a customer anymore. You're an exposure to be managed. The institutions were easy to understand. Cold math, no feelings, nothing personal. You can almost respect it. The people are the part that breaks something in you, because the same sort happens with them. It just wears a warmer face. The dinner invites get a little rarer. Not because anyone decided to drop you. It's that the plans keep landing at places you can't afford, and you keep saying you're busy, and after enough times, they stop checking. You didn't get pushed out. You just quietly stopped being included, and the strange cruelty is that nobody did it on purpose. You suggest the cheaper place, and there's a small pause on the other end of the text. You've learned that pause. It's the card reader again, the half second before the word appears, except now it's a person deciding what you are. Dating turns into a math test you keep failing before it starts. You watch someone's interest cool in real time when the conversation drifts toward what you do, what you drive, where you live. They're polite about it. People are almost always polite about it. Politeness is just how the world says no while keeping its hands clean. And family. Family is where it gets quiet. Somebody offers to cover you, and you take it because you have to, and the money changes the air between you. Now there's a ledger where there used to be a relationship. Every holiday has an invisible balance sheet in the corner of the room, and you're on the wrong side of it, and everyone's too kind to mention it, which somehow makes it louder. You start declining things before you can be excluded from them. You cancel first. It feels like control. It's really just you doing the world's sorting for it, so you don't have to watch someone else do it to your face. Being broke doesn't make you lonely because people are cruel. It makes you lonely because you flinch first. Eventually, the debts get handed off. Sold, really. Your name gets moved from a company that wanted your business to a company whose entire business is you, and the phone changes its meaning. There was a time your phone rang with offers. You've been pre-approved. You qualify. Congratulations. The same device now rings at 8 in the morning and 8 at night, from numbers you don't know, in area codes you've never lived in. You already know who it is. You let it go to voicemail. The voicemail is a stranger saying your full legal name, the way only 2 kinds of people ever do: debt collectors and the court, because that's where it goes if it goes far enough. A letter with a case number, a date you're supposed to appear on. And if you don't, or if you can't, they can go to a judge and get permission to take it straight from your paycheck before it ever reaches you. Wage garnishment. The money's spoken for before you earn it. You work a full week and the world takes its cut off the top and hands you what's left. At this point, you are no longer a person having a hard year. You are a file. A case number in a queue, processed by people who will never see your face, on software built to extract the maximum recoverable amount from an asset that happens to be a human being. And the whole apparatus is calm about it. That's the part that gets under your skin. There's no anger in it. Nobody's punishing you. It's just a machine doing the job it was built for, and the job is you. The same system that once competed for your signature now subpoenas it. The letters used to say, "Welcome." Now they say "Notice." Same envelope weight, same official font, opposite meaning. You didn't get demoted from customer to criminal. You got reclassified from revenue to recovery. There's one more level, and almost nobody talks about it, because by the time you reach it, there's no drama left to describe. You go quiet, truly broke, all the way down, and the loudest thing about it is how little happens. The fees stop, because there's nothing left to charge. The calls thin out, because even the collectors run the math and decide you're not worth the minutes. The offers stopped arriving a long time ago. The systems that fined you and flagged you and sorted you, they lose interest, all at once. And the silence they leave behind is worse than any of it, because now you're standing at a counter and the person behind it looks straight through you, not with contempt, with nothing. Their eyes do the thing eyes do when they've decided there's no transaction here, no tip, no sale, no reason to focus. You've become part of the background. Furniture with a heartbeat. This is the level people fear most and understand least. They think the bottom is being treated badly. It isn't. Being treated badly means you still register. The real bottom is when the world stops treating you as anything at all, because indifference doesn't waste energy, and you're no longer worth the energy. The world doesn't hate people who've gone broke. Hate would mean it noticed. What it does is far quieter and far worse. It looks past you at the next person in line, the one whose card is going to work, and it never even feels the moment you disappeared. You spent your whole life being told the market is fair, the system rewards effort, the world responds to who you are. The world was never responding to who you are. It was responding to what was next to your name. And when that number left, so did the world's ability to see you at all. Go back to the coffee shop. Same seat by the window. Same girl behind the counter. Same $4.75, the card reader, and that half second where it hasn't decided yet. You understand that half second now. You know what it really is. It's the whole system, compressed into a single pause. In that gap, something with no face and no memory is looking up a number attached to your name and deciding, in a fraction of a second, how a stranger is allowed to treat you. The girl's face didn't change because she's a bad person. It changed because the screen told her what you were worth, and she believed it, the way we all believe it, every day, about everyone. That's the thing you finally see, standing at the bottom. Every kindness the world ever showed you, the priority card, the raised limit, the valued customer text, the warm hello, none of it was ever aimed at you. It was aimed at the number. You just happened to be standing where the number was. The world never turned on you. It never even knew you well enough to turn. It just stopped pretending, all at once, and the warmth you thought you'd earned turned out to be a service charge you didn't know you were paying. You didn't fall out of the system. You finally saw it clearly. It was doing the exact same thing on the way up that it did on the way down. Reading a number, deciding who you are. It didn't change when you went broke. It just, for the first time, let you watch.